Hi, everybody. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, wherever you're gonna be watching this video. I would like to share with you some knowledge today, as usually, some ideas and observations, and you are welcome to join, comment, and participate in the video. I know it's unexpected, it's early afternoon, Friday. I just wasn't sure if I would be able to make a video later, but let's get started. Hey, hello. It's a live video, so if you watch later, know why I'm saying hi and hello. So that's Friday afternoon. Today's video topic is main things and behaviors that classy Ukrainian and Russian women would not do. A lot of you guys are confused about things and you don't know, okay, is this cultural, is this that, and I understand the confusion because a lot of things do depend on culture, but it's important to discern and just have a common sense moment when you realize, okay, that might not be appropriate. So a lot of you guys have situations when you reach out to me and you're so excited and like, I meet this lady on a website and she's contacting me all the time and she's, having all these ideas. Number one thing is Ukrainian lady can engage in the conversation and of course connect with you, but she definitely not gonna initiate everything. That is the first sign of scam. Either scam when you're talking to a man that have pretty female pictures, or it's a sign of a woman that is going to try to manipulate you and scam you, because as feminine women we prefer to be pursued. We do not enjoy making plans for the guys or reaching out to them and asking how they doing. We can do it sometimes, but if the lady seems to be pursuing you, there is something weird about it. Most likely you're getting scammed. That is different though if you are in a long term, not long term, yes, if you're in a long term relationship when you are you know somebody and you have a very loving woman. Yes, she wants to make sure you're okay. She's super concerned about you. Hey, if you're married for 10 years and your wife is worrying about how you feel, you know good for you. But when you are in a new relationship and it's not even yet a relationship, but you get bombarded with a lot of messages, a lot of initiatives, a lot of ideas. Basically she is pursuing you. You probably are getting scammed. And some of you guys telling me that, oh, I'm just like checking out the waters. One of the signs in the early stage is to notice, to observe. If she initiating everything, she's probably a guy. Once again, if your lady initiating everything, your online meetings, your chats, your everything, if all the initiative and all the great ideas are coming from her, you're probably talking to another dude, because we want you to be the leader, and it's very inappropriate, especially in the beginning of relationships, whether they are personal or whether they are face to face or online. It doesn't matter. When women ask you for favors or to do things when it doesn't come from you, I have no problem. And I always encourage men to be chivalrous, to be good leaders. But if it's not coming from you, like if you have the desire to do thing for a lady and you come up with it, she has to at least give you a chance to self-express yourself, and to do what you want to do. It's like getting the apple from the tree that it's not even ripe, it's green, it's going to be so sour. And so um, classy woman would not uh, speed anything up. She knows that if you are serious, things will happen. She will focus on getting to know you, asking questions about you and things like that. So that's one of the things that classy ladies don't do. They don't jump and run before the train. They let you do the work. Guys, the courtship, the dating is a sweet, sweet time. And true ladies do not want to hurry in it. And from this point, I'm going to go to the sexual part. A true Ukrainian lady will never talk with you about sex. She's not going to. Well, first of all, what's the point of talking about it? Number one. What is the point to get into that mode when maybe you are in long distance, or I mean, there is no point of talking about it. You're talking about it when it's happening. That's the best time. So Ukrainian lady will never bring this up, especially in the beginning, because that part is always in our culture men's initiative. So yes, that is the biggest giveaway. That's right, Stan. It's so true. Um, that whole the so if you are, guys, if you are you are flattered because you are online and ladies, being sort of like suggestive and seductive, I'm telling you right away, without charging you a dime, that you are getting scammed, because women need to get to a certain mode to even think about it, and that a lot of it takes a lot of actual care, a lot of feeling of security and trust when she will start thinking about it. But she's not gonna tell you with words. She's gonna give you certain signs, and it's gonna be sweet and very pleasant, and it's gonna be something that you will remember all your life. So when one of the things the classy lady will never do is she will never send you selfies in lingerie. She will never send you provocative pictures. She will never send you like inappropriate, just any kind of nudes. Well, first of all, any woman that send you a nude is just extremely risky and lack class, and extremely stupid too, because God knows how you're gonna use those. God knows how you're gonna use these pictures. That is the boudoir photo shoot is for husband and for your own bedroom. I think it's a beautiful decoration for your bedroom if you have some very professional, artistic, boudoir photo shoot, or maybe even of her in something beautiful. I think it's absolutely stunning. But that is for you in your bedroom. I actually have a couple there, my friends. They have a gorgeous picture in their bedroom of his wife, but it's not something okay, let me just shoot you a selfie. And if you're doing that, just keep in mind that this is what you're gonna get. Do you really think that you're the only guy? Okay, if the woman agrees to send you a sexual provocative picture, like right away, do you think you're the only guy that she never met? She doesn't know. I mean, that she's just saying this. Of course not. That is like you are just, it's like send all. It means that that's a manipulative tool that she's using to get you to do what she wants you to do. And if you're looking for a wife, you're looking at the wrong place. If you're looking for a mistress, you could be at the right place, except a smart woman wants once again, a classy woman will never send you this kind of sensitive information. It's worse than, sending your social security number, because, what if you just publish it on Facebook and tag her or something? I mean, it's just so, it's just weird. Anyway, even a classy mistress won't do it before she meets you physically right away. Some men looking for entertainment. I know most of men who are watching my channel looking for something bigger, but still, if you're looking for some fun, once again, you don't do fun online, okay? I mean, you could, talk on the phone and do certain things, but you just have to keep that common sense. Another thing that classy women will not do is that they will not talk trash about their past relationships. They will not endlessly talk about, what a loser their ex is, and how terrible, and, same as you guys, when you have class, you hold your face. Yes, along the way, at some point, sometimes you might consider, sharing something about your past. And I think it's important to share certain things, but not in a way of, anger. You have to be over your past relationship to build a new one, but in a way to understand what kind of conflict you went through. If it's really important. Sometimes it's not. If it just was a trashy thing, just, rip that page off and throw it in the garbage. If this is just was, if there was some complex situation, if that's something that the other person needs to know, if there is some particular trauma, and maybe, you need to go to a counselor, or therapist, you're trying to get rid of certain things, yes, but those things are shared once you are completely detached from them. And honestly, I think that the best thing to get rid of that pain or that luggage before you commit to somebody else. But once again, classy women and classy men too do not talk endless trash about their exes. Okay, it is so toxic. I remember one time having one of the most romantic moments in my entire life, and the person I was with wanted to know things about my past, and I just wanted to scream and cry, like, why now, why, when we are at this beautiful place? And I'm just, I feel, almost emotionally drunk from pleasure of our connection, and we having such an epic time, and it's just like, let's talk about us. Let me talk about you. Let us talk about each other. Don't bring it so, we want to get empathy from our past, or we want to investigate sometimes the other person, not make sure he is not a womanizer, or make sure that this woman, is not a some kind of easy behavior woman. But it's a wrong time. It's almost like you have to agree. If you want to have the conversation, you have to agree. But once again, if this is done and over with, and you see that this person does not have these traits that you had problem with, why to bring this up? Why to, ruin this delicious cup of tea, as I always say, with some poison that from last year? Why? There is no point of that. So, uh, the classy person would not generalize and talk about their ex. I want to tell you something, guys. When you generalize about the gender, even if you say, like American women or Western women, or, Asian women or whatever, it's still women. Still somewhere inside of us, we are women and we are all vulnerable. We all going through same thing, we all going through the pain of birth. We all going through, our monthly cycles. We all develop, we all have similar bodies. So when you insult, even if you do it or you are unhappy with women of certain culture, nationality, race, whatever, you still insult, you still hurt um, the entire gender. You have to understand that, guys. If I would be on my channel, I would be telling, how awful men are and there is nothing, that they are not good people, like somebody told. And you probably, if I would just separate one group, but it's a very small group of good men, but all of them, I mean, would you really be watching my channel? You would be hurt, because if you generalize, if you talk about the gender, even particular part, but you do this all the time, eventually you would think, okay, this lady actually, or that lady hates men. You would think that deep down, it's not something that you realize, but if somebody finds faults, you will still think somewhere inside of you that you are not appreciated. And you can also empathize to men better, because you are one. You know what struggles men are going through. You know what, maybe, expressing your emotions on public, maybe, your vulnerabilities you cannot share. You understand that, yes, there are some men you respect and some you don't, even you, but still you know the struggles men going through. You can relate to men more than I ever could. So that's why be very careful, also with telling what a horrific human being your ex-wife was. So I'm just sharing this with you guys. Just because, right? Oh, thank you, Alec. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you. You made it. Woohoo! You made it to my life. Um, yes, you got a personal invite from me. It's been a while. Okay, I'm gonna read your comment. Excellent topic. And Fabulous insist on the courting dynamic in relationships between men and women. Thank you so much. Yes. Let me read a few more comments till I go to my last point. Thank you so much for the support. I appreciate that. Thank you. Well, if she wants to talk about her past relationships, uh, I wish women would not do it. Some women just will tell you all these details. I really, if I would be women's, doing video for women, I would tell them to do this. You don't want to hear about another dude? I wouldn't. I mean, unless it's something into depth, something very serious, like, yeah, like, Ramrod is saying, that his lady asked him why he split up. Yeah, I totally agree that you need to focus on each other and not dwell on access. It's so true, because the energy dynamic changes. You are in this most marvelous moment, and and just enjoying yourself, and here is like, so men love this question. So how many relationships have you had? Guys, do you really want to know? There is no woman alive that will tell you the truth. Why? Because there is a double standard. If a lady had, more than 5 sexual partners, there is certain labels that goes in it, which is absolutely unfair, because both genders are supposed to enjoy sex, and it's none of your business. And the thing is, it also doesn't matter anymore. It's done. It's done and over with. So avoid asking that question too. It doesn't matter. she do- so if you ask her about like those experiences, you just reevoke in her some memories of your exes, and you know what, some of them might have been pretty good. I don't want to say better than you, but it could also be possible because sometimes women choose the way the man treats them, the way he takes care of them over some crazy high sexual experiences. These two do not go together. Usually the man that got everything, meaning he treats you well, he understands you, he cares, he's not always the best lover. It's just, I'm just telling you the truth. uh some random guy might have been, but a smart woman understand that that stuff will fade, and she needs a partner, somebody who thanks Joseph, um you know, you don't need, you don't need that, okay? So leave her alone. You know, we always had let's see, we always had two or three. So once again, no woman alive will tell you the truth, and you do not need to know the truth. As also, she doesn't care about your experiences. You know, yes, if you had a wife, she probably will ask why you divorced, because she will think, okay, you know, what was that problem? Are we safe from not having that problem? That is totally different. But when it comes, if you want to show off and tell her that, you know, you had, you know, that lady, ooh, in you know, and half of you guys lying anyway. Don't ask me how I know, but a lot of men lie about their sexual experiences, and they make them much bigger and much more exciting than they actually were. Sometimes it was true, but there is a reason why it happened. There is a certain time in life when, you know, you're active, you're going through research, you're having fun, hopefully you're doing it the smart way. It's okay, it's normal. You know, for every part of life, certain behaviors are acceptable, but the whole world does not need to know about it. You know, the best Russian saying in the world is, life should be a pleasure to remember, but an embarrassment to share. And this right applies to the sexual side of things. You know, you had some great experiences, fabulous. Have it for you. You know, when you're on your deathbed, just lay on the deathbed and think about, you know, uh, Camellia and Rosa and Georgette and somebody else. When you're about to die, yeah. But keep it for yourself. You know, be happy that you've had certain experiences, that you enjoy certain people. But I don't know, write a novel, but keep it. Make sure she doesn't read it. So, women are a lot more smarter in this way. A lot smarter. A lot. I'm just saying. I'm glad you guys enjoyed my unexpected show. It's getting so dark here in Michigan that, you know, right now you see the light reflecting on my face from the window, but at night I need some special lighting because it's total mess. It's winter here. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for subscribing to my channel, guys. Thank you, thank you. And by the way, today on a Patreon, you will see, if you are my Patreon member, you will see this topic, the top things that classic Ukrainian women will not do. You will see it on my Patreon account into depths and with examples. And it's more than just the surface things. I'm talking about several of my clients whose 90-day fiance did not work out, and they had to end their relationship. So I'm talking about that into depths there. So if you're a Patreon member, you will see later on that video pop in there. And thank you so much for your support, guys. I'm so appreciative to have you. And having these introductions. Hey, Aaron, thank you so much. I appreciate that. Stans, thank you for jumping in. I know you're busy today, but thanks for coming. Simone, a lot of Ukrainian women are very proper women. They are, if they are real, they have manners, they have class. If you watched my older video about 3 dates rule, you know, it's totally ridiculous thing I could not even imagine. So there is a saying that if you go 3 dates, then it's time to have sex. It's just totally insane. To, you know, to a classic person that have values, I don't think that any father tells to a daughter, okay, so you meet a guy, a total stranger, and you go with him on 1 date, on 2 dates, and on a date 3 or 4, you have to get to know him real close. Even though he know nothing about you, you don't know anything about his family, he had not invested his time, energy in you to prove that he is serious and you know, he can be your, you know, he can take care of you in any size, shape, or form. But yeah, I think it's a great idea. Every guy you go on a date with, on a 3rd date, you should have sex with them. I cannot imagine any father in the world that would tell this to their daughter. Any father wants to know that his daughter is respected, admired, protected, and the guy who is with her is taking the greatest care of her possible. Right? I know I have some fathers of daughters in this chat right now. So you should always think about the way you treat a lady. That doesn't matter what nationality she is. Would you treat your daughter this way? Would you treat your daughters this way? So a lot of people commented on my previous video about 3 days, uh, you know, a 3 date rule. And and some people were telling me how inadequate I am and that the woman will friend zone you, but this is not true. Classy women have her, you know, have her standards. She has her ideas and she doesn't even know. Do you let somebody in your house after you just met them for the one time and just say, hey, open all my drawers, you know, take all my money, all my documents, everything. I trust you. So when the woman let you in all the senses, she needs to trust you. She needs to feel secure. She needs to know who you are. And that's the classy woman. And we talk about traditional Ukrainian women. I understand that with feminists, things are different. They are trying to say, oh, it's totally fine to hop to bars and sleep and, you know, sleep with men and live with them from the bar and have, you know, one night stand. It's not totally fine. It's a lie. It's a complete lie. As women, we have a different role. We are more of a gatekeeper, and our goal is to choose the very best of all. You know, man's goal is to choose everything that comes his way, especially when he is on peak of his sexuality. As far as I understand, men sometimes just cannot help it. But we are different. We need none of that. We need the best of the best, because there is always a possibility that you will procreate from that man. It's always a possibility that something will happen. That's why some women just do not want you, and you should accept it. Some women just do not want you. They don't want your DNA. They don't like your smell. They don't like how you feel. They don't want you. So accept it and move on. Wow. I'm on fire this Friday afternoon. Without drop of alcohol, please notice. Simone, most of good women cannot be found on the web. There are some ladies who could be that are on the web. I have several of my subscribers that, I mean, not several, even I have quite a bit of my subscribers who connected with the lady online, but they took it to a next level. They have personal information and they talk and they build relationships. So, but if you want to have real life, you have to get off that chair and stop spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on talking to a ghost, and just come and experience life. Get in trouble, but at least learn something. No amounts of videos can really give you an experience. You gotta make sure that you have something to remember when you are on that deathbed, right? Yeah, always remember that you're with someone's daughter. That's true. Yeah, it is. Okay, that's gonna be my last point, and I have to run. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. Remember, if you're a Patreon member, there is a special video for you today. And by the way, you can get access for these videos starting from like $10 a month. So think about that. I'm kind of making a library for my longer videos on Patreon, so you can always access them and listen when you need them. So, okay, Ramrod is saying every relationship is different, but people must always respect each other. Not everyone has sex at early beginning of relationship. Best to get to know each other. Oh my God, it's best for men too and for women as well, because when you get into those hormones, you get into that chemistry thing, you cannot think straight ever. If you're really into it, ask me how I know. Once you get into that, and if the person is compatible with you sexually and you develop incredible chemistry, forget about figuring out real compatibility, because it's just woo. And one next thing you are married to a totally wrong person. You don't have anything in common. The sex fire is over, because that's another topic. It has limits, and if you overuse it, it can just it dissolves. So, well, we talk about that stuff another time. But seriously, next thing you know, you are in a total trouble when you wake up from this coma. And there is nothing wrong, guys. Okay, main reason why it happens, because it's nature. Nature has only one goal in mind. Nature, the instincts, they have only one goal in mind. That's why you don't see imperfections when somebody you just met. That's why you have your blood going and you're going wild. The nature has one goal. It needs, to make sure that life continues on the planet. Nature doesn't care about your character flaws, about your mortgage payments, about your responsibility, about what country you live, what language you speak. Nature wants men and a woman to come together, and they want that fruit to be conceived. That's all. That's all. Relationships are not on the protocol. And if you think about it, there are very many children and now grown people, if you ask for the stories, that come out of this kind of situation when people just have a passion, just fire. And then it's very hard to sometimes take care of it, because it's not an ideal situation, but sometimes it just happens. You talking to somebody who is a result of that kind of passion. So, my parents were as incompatible as it gets. As it gets. But my mom had a plan. She knew it's not gonna work, and they already had a child, but she wanted it more. And he thought, she thought my dad had okay genetics, and she had a plan. So here we are talking right now. So a lot of people are born to this world because um, somebody said yes that night. So it's not necessarily a terrible thing, because this way, the if women would wait for men to take serious decisions, the humanity would be over. There would be not a single person walking around. We'll all be dead. If we wait till, the man wants to marry, want to have a child, I mean, seriously, it would be a desert with a few people here and there. This is nature, and that's how it happens. But usually, this happens when you are young. This happens when you are 18, 20, 25, 30. It happens when those hormones going wild. So when you are over that age, as a majority, of people who are watching me right now, this is where you use your brain. So this time it happens with the right person for the right reason at the right time, right? Because you have control over it, you know? And once again, when woman just does not want you, it also means she doesn't want your DNA. It's a subconscious thing. She doesn't want to procreate from you. I just want to share this. When I was in college, there was this one guy that he was pursuing me for 5 years. 5 years! And it was 100% no from me. And there was nothing wrong with him. He was, good man in every way. But it wasn't somebody I want to connect, my DNA with. And was nothing wrong with him. So don't get upset because somebody doesn't want you. Be with somebody who wants you naturally, right? Who wants you naturally. And it's always a lot more fun this way too. So there was not a single thing that he could have done for me to change. And I'm sure there are plenty of ladies that would appreciate him because he was a great guy. But sometimes we just, it's wasn't meant to be. So guys, woohoo! Thank you so much for the comments. I gotta go. I'm all fired up. Happy Friday, everyone. We survived the terrible Halloween night last night. Good things we had done it earlier, so today is a beautiful day again. Have a wonderful afternoon. Thank you so much for your support, for joining. I hope this video was helpful. So those of you who were not in the chat, don't forget to comment, put a like, and if you have some ideas, please share them. Thank you.